Good evening, everybody. I'm going to go over a ICT Silver Bullet setup that printed beautifully today. So, for starters, we're going to start on our high time frame. Right about the 1 hour is where I like to start. All of our time frames were bullish, being the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily, meaning we're looking for longs. And I was looking for trades during the New York AM session. I did not take this trade this morning because I was busy with exams. However, this is a typical trade that I tend to take a lot. So we want to find liquidity or a reason why price would want to move to the downside. There's a 1 hour swing low here and Asia lows here. Those are two fantastic reasons. There's also an order block back here, but it wasn't quite validated. So what we want to look at from there is we can drop down to the 1 minute or 15 second. I trade on both. And we can look right in here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these just for the simplicity's sake. We'll go over these in a minute. But we hit the sell side liquidity. This is that 1 hour swing low that I was talking about and that Asia low. Two perfect triggers very, very quickly, one after another. And then what I like to do is I like to drop down to the 15 second because this is where I take my trades. And now we're looking for an entry. Now, the most valuable thing that I see in this situation is as follows. We have this gap right here, which is validated by this previous swing low, which turns into an inverse fair value gap once it gets closed through right here. This invalidation then allows for us to look for a return to the downside, preferably to the CE, before expanding to the upside. What I saw in this scenario was we then have this suspension block from here to here, which makes for a fantastic gap. So we have this inverse fair value gap. I'm not going to extend it all the way so that we can see this wick, but you get the idea. This fair value gap gets turned into an inversion fair value gap upon this close, and then on that same candle, we returned down to this suspension block. Those two things together are very, very high confluence. After that, if we're looking for anything more, we have this. We have a market structure shift here. And then after a market structure shift, we would want to see some kind of retracement in order to verify an entry. The most plausible entry we'd have after that is we then take out another swing high, we make another swing high, and then before coming up and taking out this swing high, we come down to this order block right here. And this is a bullish order block on the 15 second. This also would have made for a fantastic entry, and we respect this low down here. So for this order block, it would look a lot like this, where we respect that CE. All of our bodies respect that CE. And we could have had entries at this CE of this order block or at the top of this order block. Either one would have been good. And so we can either enter upon this move down here, which gives us a move into this suspension block, or we could have waited for a market structure shift and a return to an order block. What we do from there is then target our high time frame levels. We can go back to the 1 hour time frame, and this is what we would look for. I guess this will be easier to look at on the lower time frame. Here we are. Okay, so we came down and we took out this 1 hour swing low and this Asia low. That was the liquidity we were looking for. Then we found our entry down here. Now our take profits are going to be right here and right here for two reasons. One, this is all-time highs. There's no highs before this. This is the highest NQ has ever been, or in this case MNQ, but they're essentially the same. And right here, we have relatively equal highs. This one came out and swept this high, but I would still focus on these as relative equal highs. So I'd look for a take profit here and a take profit here, both of which end up getting taken out. And we continue moving up before we then, for the rest of the day, we seem to have reversed. So that is our ideal way to take a ICT Silver Bullet entry. We go from the high time frames, look for manipulation, then we go to the low time frames, look for a low time frame entry, and then high time frame for that target, which is what I just walked us through. I have an indicator for this entire thing. That's why all these levels are marked out. I technically have 5, but I was just focusing on the ICT Silver Bullet today. So that's what all those lines are, except for the sell side liquidity. I just manually mark that out. But this indicator goes ahead and marks out our London lows, our Asia lows, our London session kill zone, our New York AM and PM session kill zones, previous day highs, previous week highs, things of that variety, and it's very customizable. We have you can change all of the colors. You can show which sessions you want to be shown. You can show if you want N wogs or N dogs being new week opening gaps or new day opening gaps, and you can customize the entire the entire color scheme for the entire indicator. Anyways, that's it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this content today. I'm always posting more trade recaps, and if you guys want anything in specific, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Hope you all have a good rest of your day.